Hello, my name is John Jaworski, Director of Meetings and Exhibition Services for RSNA. Thank you for joining us today for the first time RSNA Exhibitor Orientation, hosted by Freeman and RSNA Exhibitor Services team. We are excited to be hosting an in-person meeting this November. During today's presentation, we will be pausing briefly to answer Q&A. So we encourage you to take advantage of this opportunity you have and answer questions through the Q&A button located on the bottom of your screen. I'd like to ask that you please put only your questions in the Q&A instead of chat, so none of your questions get overlooked during the Q&A process. Today's webinar is focused on the basics of RSNA and is geared towards first-time exhibitors. But if you are new to your team, you may find this orientation will help you get familiar with RSNA and Freeman's procedures. I understand that you may have some questions regarding a recent announcement that RSNA will require proof of vaccine for all meeting attendees, staff, and exhibitor personnel prior to admittance into McCormick Place. Acceptable vaccines are those with U.S. Food and Drug Administration or the FDA or the World Health Organization or the WHO approval or emergency use authorization. All attendees must be vaccinated, fully vaccinated to receive their badge in McCormick Place. This year, exhibitor badges will not be mailed in advance of the meeting, and exhibitor group badge pickup will not be available. Additionally, RSNA will require RSNA 2021 meeting attendees to wear masks when in McCormick Place and encourage all RSNA 21 attendees to wear masks in all public indoor spaces except when eating and drinking. Please look for a special announcement within the next few weeks for details on the vaccine verification process, as we're still finalizing all the details to this program. The complete health and safety information can also be found on our website at rsna.org/annual meeting. Since we would like to focus on today's webinar on the content we presented, if you have specific questions regarding our health and safety policy for RSNA 2021, please email RSNA Technical Exhibit Services at exhibits@rsna.org. Again, the email address is exhibits@rsna.org. We'll be happy to answer all your questions personally and get the information out to you as quickly as possible. Lastly, I'd like to mention that we are recording today's webinar and we'll post it on our exhibitor best practices page for anyone who may have missed the live broadcast, if you want to play it back for reference as well too. So again, thank you again for joining us today. At this time, I'd like to pass the presentation off to Sherry Gendell.
Thanks, John. Next slide, please. Hi, everyone. My name is Sherry Gendell, Manager of Exhibition Services at RSNA. And on behalf of Freeman and the entire Exhibition Services team, I would like to extend a very special welcome to all first-time RSNA exhibitors joining us today. We are happy to have this opportunity to bring everyone together for this special orientation for the newest members of the RSNA exhibiting family. Today, I will be going over very briefly how to find the exhibitor information that's on the RSNA website, and also a quick overview of what you can do in the exhibitor portal, including the new exhibitor checklist feature. And joining me today from Freeman is Cindy Sharkey, who will go through pre-show planning using the exhibitor service kit in Freeman Online, as well as various cost-saving tips and on-site tips for first-time exhibitors. Next slide. So first, I'd like to give you a very quick tip for how to find the information that you need on the RSNA website. I like to think of this planning your exhibit page as kind of a home base for all RSNA exhibitors. So I recommend that you bookmark this page for easy reference. I have the URL there. It is a little long, but you can navigate to this page through the different menus and then just go ahead and bookmark that page. On this page, you will find links to everything you need, and we have it divided into 4 sections. There's the essentials, planning your booth, maximizing your success, and planning your stay. There's also a button, that orange button that I have pointed out there with the arrow, that will quickly take you to the page with all of the important date and deadlines. Next slide, please. Because there is really a lot of information for exhibitors on the Planning Your Exhibit page, we do have a special page that we've created for our first-time exhibitors. It's also a great starting point for someone that's new to your planning team, even if your company has exhibited at RSNA in the past. From the Planning Your Exhibit page, there are 2 places where you can find a link to the first-time exhibitors page. The first place is in that left navigation menu, or if you look in the box titled Maximizing Your Success, you will see a link there as well. We created this page to be a special home base for first-time RSNA exhibitors, and we've designed it to kind of give you an overview of the most important things you need to know as you make your plans to exhibit. So within each of the expandable sections on that page, there are links that will take you to those most important things that you need to know. And we've sprinkled in a few tips for our first-time exhibitors that we get a lot of feedback that they usually appreciate knowing about. If you're ever lost within the other exhibitor pages or just feel like there's a lot of information, just go ahead and click one of these links to get back to that first-time exhibitors page. And that's kind of, like I said, a good starting point. And of course, you're always welcome to contact us via email or phone. We have the contact information at the bottom of the first-time exhibitor page, so you can easily get in touch with someone from our team. Next slide, please. I also want to give you a quick overview of the exhibitor portal. You may sometimes hear it referred to as your exhibitor dashboard. There's a couple ways to find the login for the portal. Again, the left navigation menu has a link to it, and then also the box called the Essentials has a link. Next slide, please. To log into the exhibitor portal, you do need login credentials, and those are only sent to the primary contact that's on file for your company. So as a primary contact, you can choose to share those login credentials with other members of your team, but just be aware that RSNA staff is only able to send them to the primary contact. Next slide, please. And just a quick reminder, make sure you keep your contacts updated on your account so that all of our important reminder emails are going to the correct members of your team. So besides the primary contact, you can have a secondary contact and a marketing contact. Both of those contacts will receive any exhibitor newsletters, webinar invitations, important reminder emails. And if you add an accounting contact, we will include them on invoice mailings. And then if you have a third-party company that's designing your exhibit, you can list an EAC contact, and that person will receive information about your booth approval status. Next slide, please. So here's a screenshot of the exhibitor portal. And there's a lot of different tiles and actions that you can take in the portal. Some of the things that you can do from within the portal include pulling copies of your invoice, making online payments by credit card, creating your exhibitor listing. You can upgrade to a premium listing that allows you to include things like your logo, videos, PDF files of your products and services. And you can also go into the portal to update your company's address and to update any of those contacts that we talked about. Some of the other important things you can do in the portal is to reserve your hotel rooms and register your booth staff for exhibitor badges. And if you need additional space for meetings or a headquarters space for your staff, or you want to add a virtual package in 2021, you can order those through the portal as well. We also have a few convenience tiles for you where you can choose to upload your certificate of insurance, or you can access previous copies of the monthly exhibitor newsletters in case you missed one. And lastly, we have a link to the new exhibitor checklist feature. Next slide, please. Within the exhibitor checklist, you can manage all the tasks and forms for RSNA, including seeing the advance rate pricing deadlines for each of those that have one listed. You can search for specific tasks or forms. You can set up email reminders for yourself. You're also able to add your own custom tasks that are related to RSNA 2021 and manage everything from this one place. You can filter and sort as needed, add notes to various items on the list. And if there's a task or form that doesn't apply to you, you can easily just hide that from the form from the list to keep that list more concise. And you can mark tasks complete when you've completed the form or the task. If you'd like to see a short demo of the exhibitor checklist, There is a link to a video by Map Your Show that you can link to from this slide deck, which we will be sharing on our website along with the recording of this webinar. And then I'm also having the web team at RSNA add a link to this video on our exhibitor best practices webpage, and I hope to see that in the next few days. Next slide, please. So that is it for the RSNA overview. I'm going to check and see if we have any questions, and if not, we're going to go ahead and pass it along to Freeman. Let's see. Looks like, okay, someone's asking, what does the certificate of insurance mean? So that is something that every RSNA exhibitor needs to have liability insurance, and you'll find more information in our rules and regulations, and you can upload that to the portal. It's a convenience for you. We just ask that you have that on hand when you are on site. If something were to come up, you would have it on hand. And let's see, there's another question here. Does RSNA provide or sell a list of attendees? Yes, we do. That system will be opening up in a couple of weeks, or about a week, I believe. And in 2 weeks, we'll be having a webinar actually on that topic to help you learn how to use that attendee list system. Let's see, I've submitted my approval booth form by August 31st. When will they be approved? So those are all going to be reviewed in the next couple weeks. And John, I don't know, do you know the timeline on when those approvals will be sent out? Is it the end of September?
August 31st is our deadline. So I know we received a lot of floor plans at that time. Usually it takes 7 to 10 days to review them all. So it might be a little longer in the beginning. So we should have them back to you for a review within another week or so.
Okay. And another attendee list question. So you've already been emailed about an RSNA exhibitor list. Is that spam? It came from a random Gmail address. Absolutely, that is spam. So I would not respond to that or purchase from that. You definitely only want to purchase through the registration portal. You'll have access to the list all through, definitely through RSNA, only through Convention Data Services, which is CDS. Good question. And then Kyle asks, does the attendee list include an email address? It does not include an email address. You are given 2 options. One is to do a mailing through a bonded mail house. So the bonded mail house receives that mailing information and does that mailing for you. The other option is to receive a list of the company, like the attendee name with their company, and then you compare that to your own internal databases and can reach out to your own customers that you know will be attending RSNA.
Sure, you have a question here from John that I'd like to answer, and he asked a question about how will exhibitor badges be supplied this year. And so to kind of reiterate what I mentioned in the beginning, that all exhibitor badges will be picked up at McCormick Place individually. There will be no badge mailing in advance this year, and there will be no exhibitor group pickup available this year. So all exhibitor badges will be required to pick up individually by the badge holder, and proof of vaccination will be required at that time. Details of that verification process will be released within the next 2 weeks or so.
Let's see, there's another one here. Any regulations for promotional materials and gifts? Yes, you will want to look under the booth activity forms. There's one for giveaways. On the giveaway request form, you will see a list of approved giveaways. If it's on that list of approved items, you don't need to submit the form. If there's also a list of items that are not allowed to be used as a giveaway, so you'll want to check that form. And then if there's something that you would like us to approve that's not already on the approved list and it's not on the unapproved list, you can complete that form and return that. If you're doing a raffle, I don't know if that's also what you're thinking, there's a separate raffle notification form. And there are definitely guidelines on there in terms of the dollar value.
Sherry, we have a question here from Caroline, and she has a question about coffee machines within the booth this year. And yes, despite all the health and safety requirements, we are still permitting coffee machines within the exhibitors booth. It's up to their discretion if they feel it's appropriate, and of course, it's up to the attendee to feel it's appropriate to accept that type of activity this year. So we do not have any restriction on that activity this year.
Let's see, I see a question here. Let me read this and see if we can make sense here. For badges that we want to reserve for our guests, they do not have exact name match. Can we pick up those badges? I'm not exactly sure what the question is. There is a guest VIP badge that you can, like a promotion code that you can send to your VIPs, and they can order when they're registering. They use your promotion code, and then they're given a free guest pass. If I'm not sure if that was the question that you're asking though. So if not, if you can put another question in there, we can try to clarify. But the guest passes are managed through your registration, your exhibitor registration dashboard. And then here's another question related to badges, and I'm not quite sure if I understand this question either. I apologize. Do the badge holders need separate registrations? I'm thinking you're just referring to your individual staff members. They all need to be registered separately. They would each get their own registration, and you would have an allotment based on your booth size. If you need additional registrations, you can purchase those through the registration portal by just registering, and then it will charge you for the overage amount.
I have a question here from Ruth about bistro tickets, and we will again be having bistro RSNA again in the North and South buildings during the exhibition. And right now the bistro ticket system is not live yet, but we'll plan to go live within the next 2 weeks here. We'll be working with Ben Smock again, who many of you may be familiar, handling that system again this year, and it'll be up and live very shortly.
Okay, and there's a question here about booth review and approvals, inline booths. So he wants to say, just to confirm, that does not apply to inline booths, including corner booths. Is that correct? So that is correct. If you're in an inline booth, whether you have a corner or not, you do not need to submit a booth approval form. You will notice on the exhibit spaces page, there are some inline booth guidelines that you need to follow, but you do not need to submit your design for approval. And where do we find the booth approval form? Those are in the exhibitor service kit. We also link to those on the dates and deadlines page. So just for your convenience. And then there was a reminder email that went out reminding you that the forms were due. We linked to them in there and also in the newsletter that went out in August. So there are a few places there you can find them. But if you can't find it, just email and we can point you in the right direction. And then how are inline booths divided? Is there a wall or drape? There is drape used to outline those booths. They are not the 8 foot high on the sides that originally we had thought we would need to do. We have gone back to the 3 foot high side rail with drape and then 8 foot across the back. And someone's asking to detail the guest passes a bit more. Is this an additional pass that can be secured in attention to our attendee passes? So the guest passes are just something that we give you that you can give out to your VIP customers. So there's an allotment for those as well. In the registration portal, you will see the allotment of how many you're given based on your booth size. So then you just send out those promo codes, say you have 4 of those to give out. You would just email 4 of your VIP customers, inviting them to come to RSNA as your guest, give them that promo code. When they register, they put in your promo code and they get an exhibits only pass for free. So it's kind of a nice gift from you to those VIP customers. Okay, and I do want to make sure we give Freeman enough time. So I'm seeing additional questions coming in, but what I'd like to do is go ahead and hand this over now to Cindy, and I will keep monitoring the RSNA related questions and we'll type answers to them. And if we can't get to them, we'll go ahead and email you after the presentation.
Great. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. So good to be here. So over the next 25 minutes, my name is Cindy. I don't think I introduced myself. I'm Cindy Sharkey-Freeman. And over the next 25 minutes, I'll be reviewing important event information, such as pre-show planning, how to save both time and money, and most importantly, the many ways Freeman is here to help make RSNA an excellent experience for you. So let's get started. So on the screen, you will see the breadth of services that we provide, such as rigging, labor, carpet, furnishings, cleaning, and graphics. All of these services can be ordered in one central location in advance on Freeman Online. And as we go through the webinar, you will see that Freeman is here to do so much more. In addition, and to enhance the appearance of your booth, we do offer exhibit rentals as well. Not only do we work with you to design a unique and engaging exhibit space, we'll also handle all the logistical details on site, such as installation, dismantling, so that you can maximize your time showcasing your products and services. In addition, we can handle all of your transportation needs to and from the event through Freeman Transportation. You will see the phone number on the screen, so feel free to give us a call. We can give you a quote and you can do some comparison shopping. So in addition to Freeman services, there are facility and specialty contractors as well. All of the contact information and order form information can also be found in one central location on Freeman Online. Keep in mind that the advance deadline dates may vary among service providers, which is a significant cost savings. So it is important to pay attention to those deadline dates. For those of you that are participating in the first time exhibitor pavilion, there is a comprehensive package as listed on the left-hand side of the screen. In addition to that, Freeman will provide exhibitors in the first time exhibitor pavilion an additional 10% discount on all non-exclusive services, such as audiovisual and the purchase of additional booth furnishings and any graphics or upgraded carpeting. Exclusive services to Freeman, including electrical, material handling, and cleaning, are not included. Next, we wanted to review those important dates and times that will assist you in your pre-planning and can potentially save you both time and money. We're going to start with the pre-show. So first up, the most important thing is to order in advance and on Freeman Online. That discount deadline date is Thursday, October 21st. And you can actually save up to 40% on standard furnishings. Second, the advance warehouse freight receiving also begins on Thursday, October 21st. Whenever possible, we always encourage you to ship to that advanced warehouse. That is a significant cost savings as well. Oftentimes when your carriers are delivering on site and they're in the marshaling yard, there are wait times, and they would charge you those additional wait times if they have to wait to be offloaded. So you can just avoid that altogether. Ship to our advanced warehouse starting from October 21st. The last day is Wednesday, November 10th. Another significant benefit is that once you arrive on site, your freight will be waiting for you on your target date and time. And we'll talk a little bit more on what exactly does that mean, but it's such a big deal there. If you have hanging signs, when we're talking about hanging signs, those are the ones that are actually hung from the ceiling, not the ones that are on your display. You absolutely need to ship those to the advanced warehouse no later than Monday, November 10th. And always, always put them in a separate container that is not with your display. We actually have special labels for hanging signs, which I will point out to you as well. But if you were to mix the two, then it could cause a delay in getting your sign hung. Moving into exhibitor move-in, there are a lot of dates here. I won't go through each one of them, but I did want to call out a few very important things. Move-in officially starts on Thursday, November 18th in the North Building only. You'll see that this is a targeted show. There will be no freight deliveries accepted on Saturday, November 20th. So make sure your carrier is aware of that. We also have a few dark days. When we say dark day, that literally means that there are no move-in activities going on at all. It is dark, there's nobody there. So those days are Sunday, November 21st and Thursday, November 25th is a dark day. For planning purposes, if you are going to require any type of labor, keep in mind that overtime rates will apply on the Saturdays that we have move-in here. So Saturday, November 20th and 27th, overtime rates do apply. And lastly, so important to have those exhibits fully installed by Saturday, November 27th, no later than 4:30 p.m. All right, let's talk a little bit about target dates. Target dates, oftentimes when we find that we were going to have a lot of large pieces of freight on an event, we will target a show. The reason we do that is to allow for not only an orderly and timely move-in, but is essentially for the safety of everybody that is on the show floor. Assigned target dates are available on Freeman Online. When you go to the ordering and you're on the landing page for RSNA, you will find these floor plans on there and it will tell you your target date, or you can also go to rsna.org and go to the exhibitor portal that Sherry was talking about earlier. When we talk about your assigned target date and time, we're specifically talking about your display. We're not talking about your product. We're really targeting those big crates carrying your display. The target date and time, it is not the date and time that your freight will be in your booth. It is the date and time that your carrier has to check in the marshaling yard. So we wanted to point that out and make sure you all understand that. All right, exhibit hours. For those of you who are familiar with RSNA, you will notice that the show is running Sunday through Wednesday, as well as open daily from 10 to 5 p.m. Once the show closes on Wednesday, December 1st, we immediately begin the empty return process. What you can expect is we're going to roll up that aisle carpet. That generally takes about a good hour. And then we begin to return your empties, your cases and cartons will come first, and then we will follow with the large crates. Once the aisle carpet is rolled up, that empty return process could take up to 6 hours. If that timing is not going to work for you with your travel plans or so forth, you always have the option to hire what's called Freeman supervised labor. It's not something that you have to decide today. You can always just come see us at the service desk. But once the show closes, we will pack up your booth for you with all the paperwork and make sure it gets loaded onto your carrier. So Freeman supervised labor, if you run into any problems there. The labor will officially start at 5, but anything that's motorized will not be allowed until we have that aisle carpet rolled up. Let's see, move out. Let's see, we do have a few restrictions on the move out. Saturday, December 4th, there'll be no freight loading of any kind. And then we also have an additional dark day, Sunday, December 5th. And make sure your carriers are aware that they need to check in no later than Monday, December 6th at 8 a.m. If they do miss that cutoff time, we may have to reroute it on the official carrier, or we may have to bring your freight back to the Freeman warehouse and we'll give you a call. All right, let's talk a little bit about the labor in Chicago. I know it's hard to remember what you can and what you can't do because it varies from city to city. There's a lot that you can do in Chicago, which is great, a McCormick place. If you are a full-time company, I'm sorry, a full-time employee of the exhibiting company, you can use hand tools and ladders. You can set up your booth and you can plug in the electrical equipment. What you cannot do is you cannot use anything motorized of any kind, forklifts, pallet jacks, things of that nature. All right, just wanted to touch briefly on electrical tips. Electrical is something that you definitely do not want to wait until you get on site. You have to do this in advance. It's so important. It's one of the first things we do when we get to the show floor is lay the electrical, and then we lay your carpet, and we want to have all these things done for you before you even arrive. Make sure you include a floor plan with details, including the orientation. You definitely want to make sure we have an on-site contact in case we have questions and we need to reach out to you before you arrive. We don't want any delays in getting your electrical laid. Make sure the floor plan includes a main power drop, outlets, locations, and so forth. If you've ordered Freeman flooring, we will have that installed on your arrival. That is always the goal. And there's a lot more information on guidelines and how much power you need to order. Or you can always contact Freeman, and we're happy to get an electrical specialist on the phone for you to help you with that. All right, let's talk about outbound shipping form. If there's nothing else you remember, this is a big deal. Everybody needs the outbound shipping form. And what this tells us is it tells us who you have contracted as the carrier to pick up your booth. So regardless if you have used Freeman as a carrier, all outbound shipments require this document. It's called a material handling agreement. And what you need to do is you just need to get a material handling agreement. You can get it in several ways. You can complete the form on the left-hand side. You can get the form in the service kit. You can go to the service desk and get it, or you can do directly online. All of those ways, we will generate the document on the right-hand side and deliver it directly to your booth before the close of the show. And we will also print out your shipping labels, which is really nice because it will save you from writing. So let us print out those shipping labels for you. What you need to do is when you are all packed and ready to go, you complete the gray shaded areas. So your piece count and your weight. Make sure you sign it with a contact name. And you turn this in to Freeman. You never leave it on your booth, never leave it on your crate. You'll want to get it time-stamped and make sure that they give you a copy. And this lets us know that when your carrier arrives, we can load your freight. So it's a significant part of the process. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what is material handling. And I can just go through this very quickly. It's very different from shipping. So just through this infographic, material handling is once your carrier arrives at the show site or the warehouse, Freeman then has jurisdiction to offload your freight, deliver it directly to your booth. We will store your empties throughout the duration of the event. We will return your empties at the close of the show. And once you're packed up and ready to go, we will load it onto your carrier. So that whole process is called material handling. This is just showing when you go to Freeman Online, you can see there's a lot of call out tiles here. If you select this material handling tile, this is where you can complete your material handling form in advance, which I would highly recommend. It's just one less thing you have to do at show site. And you can also print out shipping labels to the advanced warehouse or show site, which is super helpful. And you can also print out the hanging sign labels as well. So it's all just right here in this one central location once you get to that landing page on Freeman Online. All right, and just real quick, this is a program that's actually organized through the McCormick Place. It's called the ASUV, which stands for Automobile and Small Utility Vehicle. For those of you who are planning on driving to the event and you would like to offload your freight, you can do that. There's a special program. There's a designated place for you to drive up, and you can do self-unloading. You can hand carry items to your booth. You can use hand trucks, hand dollies, and things like that, just nothing motorized. So very convenient, very easy. You don't need a material handling agreement on the move out, which is nice. And if there's more information, I have the link here for you. You just click on it if you want a little more details on that. All right, just a couple of cost saving tips. One of the most important, again, is the order discount deadline date. That date is October 21st. And again, it could vary amongst the service providers. Always shipping to the warehouse is always encouraged. Shipments that are 10 pounds and under, there is no charge for that. As far as labor is concerned, as much as possible, try to schedule your labor on straight time, but also in advance. There are different rates. If you were to wait to schedule labor on site, it's going to be a higher rate. If you know you want labor, but you don't know when you want labor, then we would suggest just placing your order in advance for labor and putting it in as a will call. And once you get on site and you have a better idea, just come see us at the service desk and let us know what time you want your labor. This next one, ensure the booth instructions are located in the crates. We do find that people forget to put the instructions in there, and it takes the labor certainly a lot longer to put your booth together. Shipping those hanging signs to the advanced warehouse, once again, is super, super important. And just pay attention to the shipping deadlines, things like the advanced warehouse, when your carrier needs to arrive, your target date and times. Those things you definitely want to pay attention to, and significant cost savings. All right, just a couple of on-site tips. We're at the home stretch. One of the biggest things is when you arrive on site, if you are the one that is planning everything, but you're not the one that's actually going to be in the booth, make sure that the on-site person has these things, order confirmations, just in case things are missed and we need to refer to that. Obviously, we will fill any order you had placed in advance, but we will also make sure that you get that advanced rate, which is significant. Always bring freight tracking numbers, pro numbers. You know, we're really good about tracking down freight, but we do need a starting point. So make sure they're equipped with those pro numbers and tracking numbers. Make sure you wear comfortable clothing and comfortable shoes. And we just wanted to call out that the AC will not be on during the move-in portion. So just make sure you're wearing some light clothes during your move-in. Once you arrive at your booth space, check to make sure everything is there. Check against your order confirmations for your furnishings, your utilities, and your freight. Any of those things are missing, we will have concierge on the floor who are happy to help you in the comforts of your booth space. You don't always have to leave and go to the service desk, but make sure that those things are all buttoned up when you get there. If you have ordered labor, unless you have a scheduled 8 o'clock call, we're not going to automatically dispatch the labor to you. So you need to come let us know that you are here, and we're happy to do that. But once again, the 8 o'clock calls are an automatic when we dispatch you. And empty stickers, those can be found at the service desk. Expect to see a color-coded floor plan. Make sure you choose the sticker that corresponds with the floor plan. Fill those out with your company name and your booth number. But don't put the empty sticker on it unless you are ready for it to be in storage. Oftentimes we store the empties in trailers and we take them off property. So if you were to inadvertently leave something in there that you have forgotten, it's going to be very costly for us to go have a labor person dig through the trailers to find what you're looking for. So we have folks roaming the floors specifically to pull empties off the floor. So don't put that sticker on it unless you're ready for it to go. All right, and then this is our last slide. We are ready and able to assist you. We are here to make this a very great experience. You can get a hold of us in several different ways. You can call us at our contact center Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can always reach us in the live chat. Feel free to email us at exhibitsupport@freeman.com. Go ahead and place those orders in advance. You just go to freeman.com and select Find, Show, and Order. It's as simple as that. And if you want additional information on our health and safety guidelines, we've added 2 links, one to Freeman's guidelines, and then as well as the RSNA 2021 guidelines. And with that, we're going to open it up for questions.
A lot of questions have been getting answered, been presenting, Cindy. So
Okay, great.
Open questions at the moment, unless somebody was going to type anything in that we've missed answering. We've had a team of people answering questions for us.
Thank you. That's so efficient.
So I don't know if I'm seeing anything new. And of course, as you know, we are always here to answer your questions. So if we are not getting answered on this call, we can definitely do it through email. Let's see. I'm going to wait just another minute and see if anything else comes in. Okay, hang on a second. All right, Steve says, if I want to order carpet, electric, and furniture, when is the latest I can order?
October 21st.
So that's the advance rate deadline.
Well, you can order after October 21st, but it's after the deadline, so the rates will be higher. So I'm going to say October 21st.
So Steve, yes, you can order things even, I suppose, on site, but you're going to pay more. Cindy,
Yes.
October 21st is the deadline to receive the advance rate pricing. So you'll want to make sure you kind of make before that date. And
Yes, and with standard items, it could be 40% more if you were to wait. And definitely if you're ordering electrical and labor, you absolutely do that in advance because it'll be more expensive for you if you don't.
yeah. And I was putting in questions, answers to questions that we had verbally answered so that everyone could see those answers in writing. But you may have already mentioned this, that carpeting is required. So I always like to point that out to our first time exhibitors because, you know, if they don't hear that, they show up on site, they realize carpeting, and then as you said, Cindy, they pay more. So everyone listening, make sure you have at least have carpet ordered before October 21st, because that is required. Okay. Steve says so same follow up to his question about ordering. He's in the UK and he needs to leave it as late as possible to order. We can't get into the US at the moment. So it could be that we need to order very late. So yes, that is unfortunate, Steve, that may happen. Cindy, maybe you can, I don't know if you have any feedback for Steve on strategies on how he could try to place his orders and.
Yeah, I mean, you mean as far as if his hands are tied and he can't place
Yeah.
it?
Well, I mean, if he was to order before the advance rate deadline, but then he can't come into the US, I don't know, do you have like some kind of a cancellation policy?
Oh, the cancellation policy. Yeah, you know, if it's a standard item, you know, we will reimburse him if it's furnishings. If we haven't done any of the work and we haven't delivered the furniture or done the labor, we will reimburse you.
Okay, so Steve, I think
We're a
that might
custom-
answer your question.
Yeah, but if you
Yeah,
order
you-
a custom graphic, you know, we've ordered custom furniture and we've done the work, then there would be some sort of, you know, for that. But,
Okay. And so
yeah.
Steve, I would suggest working with the Freeman team on what you're thinking of ordering. And that way you'll be completely aware if anything is custom and it had to be canceled, what your charges would be, or if you're ordering ordered stuff, you know, if you would get a full refund. So you can work out that with Freeman for sure. Tara Jones is asking for furniture. If they do order closer to the deadline, is there a risk of out of stock on certain items?
We're not anticipating that. You know, that, I mean, we have access, we have significant access to inventory. So we're not anticipating things like that.
Okay.
I mean, it depends if you order something very rare, maybe, but we're pretty well equipped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see, Will is asking if we can send today's presentation slide through email. So Will, what we were going to do is we'll have the slides posted on our website where you can go ahead and download them. I will be sending them over to my marketing team to have posted on the website. It takes a couple days sometimes for them to, you know, get that posted, but it'll definitely be available for you to download from our website. And that'll be on the exhibitor best practices page. So there's normally there's a whole list of webinars. Once the webinar has happened, the registration link is replaced with the recording. And then if there are slides to download, you'll see the link there for that. Okay, I don't see any more questions. I'll give it another maybe 10 seconds in case somebody's typing. Looks like we've maybe answered them. So anyways, I want to thank you, Cindy, for joining me today to just help get our newest exhibitors oriented to participating in the RSNA annual meeting and for taking time to answer some questions for us. And I want to thank each of the exhibitors who have attended this special orientation. We're looking forward to welcoming you to RSNA and helping you as you prepare your participation. So please take advantage of all the resources that have been shared with you today and feel free to reach out to the Freeman team and to the RSNA teams if you ever have any questions. We're here to help you through the process. And we will be signing off now, but remember, we are just an email or phone call away. So stay well, and we look forward to seeing all of you in Chicago.
Thank you.